So this team selection probably didn't go as we thought it would. Let's talk about it. Now, this team selection dropped while I was at the AFLW watching the Collingwood and Carlton season opener. Unfortunately, we lost that, but I got to see Ash Centra's first kick and first goal in AFLW, and I'm telling you, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing, she is going to just she's generational. She's absolutely generational. It's going to change the face of the AFLW for the next 5 to 10 years. But with that out of the way, let's talk about this team that just dropped. So we'll quickly just go over Adelaide. So Brodie Smith comes in. I think that's one of his first games for the year. Taylor Walker comes in, of course. You need to have your big key forward come in. Harry Schoenberg comes in for his first game, and he'll be the sub. So it's really interesting because Adelaide announced their sub when they're doing their when they're releasing their teams on the Thursday night or whatever. So that's I actually really like that. I really think that a lot more clubs should do it instead of just waiting for like 60 minutes before. Just announce it now. If you know who it's going to be, just announce it now. And then Lockie Murphy comes in for his first game since round 14. Coming out is Rory Laird with that suspension, so that really bloody helps us. Chris Burgess gets dropped. Chase Jones and Luke Pedler are both injured, I'm pretty sure. So the Luke Pedler one helps as well, but that Rory Laird one is huge. But Taylor Walker coming in is just big for them. Like, look at this forward line, right? Ben Keys, who just is always good for 2 or 3 goals. Thilthorpe, Alex Neil-Bullen, Isaac Rankin, Darcy Fogarty, and Taylor Walker all starting on the field. That's crazy. That's a stacked forward line. That is an absolutely stacked forward line. Then you look at our back line and you go, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, so that's a really good that's a really good Adelaide team. I'm looking at the team thing and I can see that Simon Meredith is umpiring. So, get prepared for that. But looking at our team now. Now, on my preview, I said that I would make those 3 changes, which would be Cox in, Beau in, Bobby in, for Long, Will Hoskin-Elliott, and Howe, because Howe's obviously injured. Um, it didn't go like that. I also said that you could make a case for Allan and Parker to come in as well, or it could just be one change. Now, there were 3 changes. We know Beau McCreery was definitely coming in. They've also brought in Ed Allan and Will Parker. Coming out of the team is Tom Mitchell, Jeremy Howe, Will Hoskin-Elliott. Now, Jeremy Howe, injured. Don't worry about that one. Will Hoskin-Elliott, he had, 4 disposals last week. And like I said in my preview video for the game when I was talking about the ins and outs, he was probably the next cab on the rank that I could see losing his spot because for the last couple of weeks he has been down. So I understand that just needs a rest. I'm surprised that they haven't rested him, to be honest, when they've been resting their older players. But the one for me is Tom Mitchell coming out. They're sticking with Ned Long, and I just I don't understand it entirely. I know Ned Long is younger. I know he had a really good start to the season, so I understand that about it all. But his last few weeks haven't been any good. Like I go back to that Brisbane game where he had 9 disposals, 5 of them were turnovers, and went at 11% efficiency. Look at last week's game. He had 10 disposals, 3 tackles, no clearances, whereas Mitchell had uh, close to 20 disposals, 3 or 4 clearances, and 3 or 4 tackles, and went at about 75% or something like that disposal efficiency. I, it just really bemuses me. It really bemuses me. You would think that going for the experience would be a little bit like more of what we should be doing. So I just really don't understand it at all. Um, but again, going for the youth, and I think those 3 guys. Jeremy Howe's injured, so he's not dropped. But those 3 guys are all over 30, and we bring in Will Parker, Beau McCreery, and Ed Allan, who are all in their early 20s, to inject some of that speed and some of that youth into the team. And I understand the ins. I get the ins. I get why they're not going Cox. I get, we'll talk about Bobby in a second, but I get why they're not going Cox. Will Parker or Ed Allan, one of those guys will be the sub. I would think it would be probably Ed Allan. Like I can't. It's hard with Will Parker because I can't see him being like a super sub or being that guy that can come on as a sub and change the game. But Ed Allan, I can kind of see him being a sub that could change the game just in the way that, he's really quick, can use the ball well. I still have that knock about him on his defensive side, so I'm hoping that he can show something more and be more aggressive um, going forward, and and when he attacks the ball and stuff like that. But look, I don't mind those ins at all. Very different to what I thought. The I like the Will Parker one. I know he's going to be a good footballer. I just don't see how he fits into this team right now. And I know you need to reward VFL and stuff like that, and VFL form and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, when you've got a forward line of ranking Keys, Fogarty, Thilthorpe, Neil Bullen, Walker, and your back line looks like Braden Maynard, Darcy Moore, Billy Frampton, Isaac Quaynor, Harry Perryman as your centre half back, and Josh Dacos, where does Will Parker fit into that? Are they going to maybe use him more on a wing and chuck Jack Chris back a little bit? Are they going to experiment a little bit? Is it too late to experiment? I just, yeah, that's the odd one. That's the odd one for me. That's the real odd one for me. Unless Will Parker is the sub, and that way you get the speed from Ed Allan coming off the interchange bench for like Jack Crisp or something, have Ed Allen on the wing. And then Will Parker just kind of comes on and he's just a little bit more cover. So that's probably the one where I go, hang on a second, it's a little bit weird. But now let's talk about Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill isn't playing. Now, I was inundated with messages saying, what's going on? Why isn't Bobby Hill playing? I was lots of comments saying, boy, they should be playing. We've failed. McRae's failed the selection. And I was first like that. When Tom Morris came out earlier this week and said Bobby has put his hand up and he wants to play. And then on Tuesday after training, I saw that Bobby and Fly and Jared Wade had that 10-minute discussion. I told you guys on that video, said, watch this space, Bobby might not play. And then when Craig McRae had his presser on Thursday, and he said, yeah, Beau's definitely in. Bobby, we're going to see it selection. I knew that, Bobby wasn't playing, right? Now, I understand it in a sense, because they're probably thinking, okay, it's been 7 or 8 weeks, however long it's been since since he went on those sort of personal leave weeks. He's played one game in the VFL and then half a game in the eight, well, probably less than half a game in the seniors against Brisbane. Yes, he did look good when Brisbane, when he came on in Brisbane, looked energetic, it looked lively. It gave us a little bit of that spark. But you can do all the training you want in the world. Is 1.5 games after being out for 7 weeks? Is it? I guess that's just not going to cut it for them. And maybe he's not hitting. We're not privy to GPS data and all this sort of metrics and stuff that they use. So maybe he's just not hitting his goals or anything like that. And they're going to give him a run in the VFL. Like, that's the thing. Do they give him a run in the VFL, or do they take him just to Adelaide for the camaraderie and to be around everyone and not leave him sort of alone back in Melbourne? Like, is that something that they're going to do? Um, so that'll be a wait and see. So the VFL play at 2 o'clock. So I think, if we see Bobby on the plane on Friday, obviously he's not going to be playing VFL. Um, but I also see where other supporters are coming from, and sort of where my mind is coming from as well. Where it's like, okay, but if Bobby is 75% ready to go, you play him. You need to play your best 23. We're getting into final. This is a must-win game from us. This is a must-win game for us. Should we be playing with selection and having Will Parker and Ed Allen as opposed to Bobby Hill and Mason Cox, or Bobby Hill and Tom Mitchell in the team? Um, are we being too cute again? Is this going to bite us on the ass? And you know, is it just, I don't know, like, I trust Fly. I trust the process. He told me, he looked into my eyes today on Thursday at training. He said, Luke, he said, Swoop, trust the process. So how can I not trust the process? I know that these 23 guys are going to give it their absolute all, but I just still think I understand the Bobby, and I don't understand the Bobby. It's like I understand they probably want to give him more game time, but then if they don't play him in the VFL, what's the point? But I also understand if he's 75%, maybe he's less than 75%. You know, that's the other thing. We don't really know. We're not privy to it, but I was, you know, how I feel personally, football aside, like yes, I would love Bobby to play, and I hope he plays, and I hope he plays against Melbourne and has a good final series. But footballing aside, I hope that whatever he's going through, because clearly he's going through something. I'm not going to give into speculation or anything like that, but clearly he's going through something. I hope that he's okay, and I hope he's getting the help he needs, and or whatever it may be, whatever he needs. I hope he's getting it. And he can take all the time in the world. If I'm compartmentalizing and taking away my footballing brain and oh, we must win games, we need to win the flag, this is our best shot. If I'm taking that away and I'm looking at it from a human perspective, I'm saying that I hope that he's okay and he's back to himself, however that may be and whatever that looks like in the future. I hope that we can see Happy Bobby back on the football field because he feels good and he's in a better space mentally. But these are, or this is the team talk. Let me know your thoughts down below on the team because I know this one's going to cause a lot of controversy. So until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.